Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth and this is Beth's Bookish Reviews, and I am so glad you joined me today. I am here today to do my July wrap up, and I've read 14 books this month. Some of them I do not have. In fact, I only have 7. One of them I had and I passed along to my niece because she came over needing some books, and I said, here, I just finished this one, you can have this one. So I'm going to start with one that I started in June, the end of June, and finished, and it is The Bachelorette Party by Camilla Sten, and it's about 4 girls, 4 women, Tilly, Anna, Linnea, and Evelina. They meet every year on the Swedish coast, I think, off the coast of Sweden, on a remote island. And it is something they do as friends, you know, it's something they do. And until one night, they mysteriously vanish. And so then about 12 years later, there is now a resort there run by one of the missing girls' sisters. And the bachelorette party is made up of, oh, it's only 10 years later, sorry. Tessa, Annalise, is the bride, and they're friends. And Annalise has had a major mess up. So it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. Really enjoyed this one. So yeah, love the cover. Love the cover. So for my summer book bingo, I used it. I think I used it for flowers on the cover, but then I changed it and used it for something else. And I don't remember what. So I probably should get my notebook down, but that's okay. We'll move on. The next one I finished was The Long Way Home by Louise Penny, and this is another Armand Gamache. It is the next one that I read. And this one is about Peter being reported missing, Clara, and he had a pact to meet back in a year to discuss things, and Gamache goes to see if he can find him. I gave this one, I can't remember if I gave it 4 or 5 stars. I think I gave it 4 stars. But it's just, I love her writing, and she never lets me down. It is always just wonderful. And I always enjoy the people from Three Pines. And then I read for Jane Austen July, my nonfiction book about Jane Austen, and it was also for Books of Jenna's Book Club. I read Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney, and this is, Rebecca Romney is a rare book collector and a rare book dealer, and she did a lot of research on the writers and authors that Jane Austen might have read, and who she did read, the women that she read. And yes, I gave this 5 stars. This was wonderful reading, and I can't wait to go back through it and just, pick it up and just read about maybe somebody that I want to read and dig in to this again. So I'll definitely be keeping this one. And yes, I really enjoyed this one, and the information that she shared in this book was really interesting and well worth the time that it took to read this one. So I really enjoyed this book. The next book I read was for the 250th birthday celebration of Jane Austen, and it was also the book club read for Jane Austen July, and it's also my favorite Jane Austen novel. It is Emma by Jane Austen, and this is about Emma. She is beautiful, she's smart, she's caring because she loves her father, and I just love Emma, and she's just, and I love Mr. Knightley, and so yes, so this was for Big Book Summer as well. So there's another one, and I'm sure it fit for something on my summer book bingo. But I don't know what. I need to do a wrap up when that is over to tell you just or after I get my card full, what I used for that. So yes, this could have fit for flowers on the cover too. Love Emma. The next one I read is the one I passed on to my niece. It's called, I'll put it up here, The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. And this one, I believe I talked about in a vlog. This one is kind of like a thriller. This girl is a detective, and she's recovering from some things that have went on in her personal life, and she goes to this resort where her brother is announcing his engagement, and it's been a while since she's seen him, and she takes her boyfriend with her, and then there's a murder, and she has to pick up what she does best. And so yeah, and I think I gave this, maybe 3 stars. That feels right. The next one I did, I read this, I listened to this one because I needed a Flop Dead Gorgeous. I just love the cover. And this is about a lawyer who is representing somebody who he used to go to school with. And make no mistake, he used to date her as well in high school. A pun in the title. That's why I read this one. And she is accused of killing her co-star because he is found in her house dead. And so the narrator's wife and a friend of theirs are like private investigators or detectives, and I believe they're private investigators, but they work with him, and they do the work to figure out what actually happened. The next one I found was another nonfiction, I put it up here. And I found this from a from a YouTube channel, and it's called Down the Hill: My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi, by Susan Hendricks. And this is, Susan Hendricks was and she may still be, a reporter on CNN, HLN, one of those channels. And she went to the home of one of the murdered victims and worked very closely with the families of these young girls, and was just there for them and treated them with respect and grew very close to them. And the book is very, very, it's very well put together, and just she's extremely knowledgeable, and I am so in awe of how she treated these people, how she treated the families, because she's a reporter for one. And she was just, you could tell there was so much respect for them, which there should have been, but there's not always. And so the amount of time these families have had to wait for any evidence, it's just been unbelievable. And they've been so patient. So yeah, it's an amazing book. So the next one I finished was The Jane Austen Project by Kathleen A. Flynn. And this was for Jane Austen July. It was also a Books Love Jenna book club pick, and I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. There was some time travel in it. The only problem I had with it was I felt bad for Henry. That's Jane Austen's brother. I had no trouble reading the text, because when I ordered my copy, it come in and it was a large print edition. But these two people are part of a project that a lady invents a time machine, or a way to travel through time. And then these people, a group of people have this project going. It's called the Jane Austen Project, and 2 people are nominated and selected to go back in time to Jane Austen's time period and they are to meet Jane Austen and gather some things from her. And so it was an awesome book. I enjoyed it. And yeah. The next one I read was for my 52 books in 52 weeks. I'll put it up here. A Fire at the Exhibition, and this is a Lady Hardcastle book. And her and her trusty maid, or I don't know what she calls her, lady's maid, Flo, are at an exhibition, and there's a fire, and so everybody is escorted out. There is a book on Shakespeare, and then a wonderful painting, and some other things, but those are the things that are taken. And it's up to Lady Hardcastle and Flo to find out what happened. So I gave it 3 stars. I love these books. It's nice little cozy reads. The next book I read, I'll put it up here, is Rachel Hannah's The Beach House. This is the South Carolina Sunset, I think, series. This is the first one. And I really enjoyed this. This is about a woman who is about to settle down with her husband in their dream home. And they've purchased, she thinks, a beautiful beach house, and their kids are going off to college, and her and her husband are retiring to this beach house, and he comes in and tells her he wants a divorce. So she has some decisions to make. So the next book I read was, keep this author in your mind because he'll come up again in a minute, Lee Child's Make Me. And Reacher gets off at a railroad stop, and he meets this young woman named Michelle Chang, and she is an investigator, and she's very worried. And it's in this town called Mother's Rest, and the people in there are sometimes not so friendly, and she's looking for her partner who is missing, and they have an investigation, and she thinks it might have turned ugly. And so Reacher teams up with Chang, and pretty soon they are traveling across the country, and a newspaper journalist gets involved, and he thought about just walking away, which would have been easier, but he's Reacher, and he's a good guy, and he never walks away. So 5 stars. I mean, it was good. It's always good. It's Lee Child. The next one I read was The Vanishing at Castle Moreau by Jamie Jo Wright. 5 stars. And this is about, one is set in 1870. Orphan Daisy Francois takes a position as a housemaid at a Wisconsin castle, and she's there, she thinks, to be a maid, and then she's told by what's his name? I can't even remember the guy's name. Mr. Tremblay, I'll just say his name is Mr. Tremblay, that he wants her to watch over his grandmere. And so she says, really, do you know how hard that is? She won't even speak to me. So, and in the present day, because Jamie Jo Wright always writes in dual timelines, and in present day, Cleo is hired by the grandson, who is like in the public eye. Like, I don't know if he's an actor or just in like a socialite, or I don't know if it's called a socialite when it's a guy, but if he's a model or something. Anyway, he's good looking, and he's, I would say, an actor or something. And she's there. She's been hired to go through all of his grandmother's things because she's a hoarder. And she's running from something. So, very good. Loved it. I think this may be my new favorite Jamie Jo Wright. The next book I read, I'll have to put it up here because I don't have it. It or the last one is Gone Tomorrow. And this one finds Reacher on a subway train in the opening stages. And he sees a lady. He clocks everybody on the train. And there are 3 guys and 2 women. And he thinks the woman, the white girl or the white woman is a bomber because she's wearing a coat and she's got her hands in her bag and she's murmuring, like she continues to like talk to herself or recite things. And so he gets up. He finally decides to get up. All the stops being made. Nobody's getting on and nobody's getting off. And so he tries to talk to her. And so when he gets up there to her and he's talking to her, she pulls a gun and she's holding it on him, but she doesn't shoot him. So then he's got to figure out why she did what she did. The last one I just finished tonight is called Echo Burning. And Reacher's picked up. He's always hitchhiking. He's always walking or traveling. And he's picked up by a lady. And she's a beautiful woman. And he gets in. It's real hot. But the car is nice and cool. And he's surprised because most women won't pick up a big guy like him. And so she's talking to him, and he's wondering where this line of questioning is going, and she finally asks him if he will kill her husband. And so that's where that kind of goes. So anyway, those are the books I read. And if you enjoyed this video, and one that I did not get finished with, I am on page 139. I've read this much of it, and I only have that much to go. Is Lady Carolyn Lamb by Antonia Fraser. I may finish it tonight, but probably not. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.